Welcome to Golden Aging Health. They say men are visual creatures, forever drawn to what they see. But I've learned that the true secret to making a man never want another woman has far less to do with appearances and far more to do with what you say in the most intimate of moments. When a man is inside you, his defenses fade, his walls slip away. In that vulnerable space, your words don't just brush against his body, they carve themselves into his memory and his heart. This is what I call emotional imprinting, the quiet art of leaving a mark on his soul that no casual attraction could ever erase. Science has shown us that in intimacy, a man's mind floods with powerful bonding chemicals. If in that moment he hears words of love, desire, or deep appreciation, those feelings fuse together. He begins to tie his greatest joy not just to the act, but to the one who gave it to him, you. This isn't trickery, it's a connection. It's the truth of love after 60, where passion transforms into something richer, steadier, more profound. And if you've ever wondered what to say to a man to keep his heart devoted, I invite you to stay with me as we begin. Before we begin, if these reflections on love after 60 speak to your heart, I'd be grateful if you liked this video and subscribed to Golden Aging Health. It helps us reach more women who deserve real love, wisdom, and respect in their later years. So let us choose a gentle approach to the first truth, the sort of word that not only pleases him in the moment, but also leaves an impression on him that he will remember for a long time.
Insight number 1: emotional imprinting. There are moments in life when what we say lingers far longer than what we do. And intimacy, especially in love after 60, is one of those sacred times. I call this emotional imprinting. It's the way a phrase, spoken while you are closest to him, settles deep inside his spirit and ties itself to the feelings he experiences with you. Once etched there, it becomes a mark no other woman can erase. Science shows us part of the reason. When a man is joined with you, his brain is flooded with dopamine, the spark of pleasure, and oxytocin, the chemical of bonding. In that state, his walls fall away. His mind becomes soft, open, like clay ready to hold an impression. What he hears in that fragile moment carries more weight than anything you might say on an ordinary day. But there's more than chemistry at work. Carl Jung once observed that what is not brought to consciousness comes to us as fate. In intimacy, his unconscious stirs. Your words don't just brush his ears, they reach into the hidden boy who longed to be chosen, the grown man who still craves belonging. That is where the imprint is made. A dear friend once told me her husband, even after decades, still recalled one quiet phrase she whispered their first night together. It wasn't grand, just simple appreciation. Yet he said, "Those words made me feel enough." That is the gentle power of imprinting. It doesn't require poetry, only sincerity. And so the first key is this: what you say in those tender moments doesn't fade with the night. It becomes the definition of love itself, a memory strung like a pearl that he will carry for the rest of his days.
Insight number 2: speak to his identity, not just his ego. If emotional imprinting is the beginning, the next step is choosing carefully what you imprint. And here lies a quiet but vital distinction: speaking to a man's ego versus speaking to his identity. His ego lives on the surface. It craves validation about strength, appearance, or success. But his identity runs deeper. It is the fabric of his values, his character, his integrity, the story he tells himself about who he truly is. When you touch only his ego, your words lift him briefly, but they fade like smoke. He may smile at "you're strong" or "you look good," but soon enough, those words vanish into comparison because the ego always measures itself against others. Identity, on the other hand, does not fade. When you speak to it, you plant a seed in soil that endures. Imagine whispering, "I treasure your loyalty." In that instant, you honor a part of him that time cannot steal. Or saying, "I love your kindness." You are telling him that what makes him desirable is not what he does, but who he is. Even words like, "I admire your ambition," can ignite pride while anchoring it in his essence. Philosophers knew this truth long ago. Epictetus once said, "First say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do." When you affirm his chosen self, you confirm his deeper worth. Let me ask you, when was the last time someone praised who you are rather than what you do? How did it feel? Share your thoughts in the comments below. You never know whose story might encourage. This is the gift of love after 60. When your words touch his identity, not his ego, they become more than compliments. They become affirmations of his soul.
Insight number 3. Specific, authentic praise. A man may hear countless compliments throughout his life, but only those spoken with honesty leave a lasting echo in his heart. In Love After 60, this becomes even clearer. Quick phrases like, "You're amazing," or "You look great," can spark a momentary smile, yet they fade almost as soon as they're said. What endures, what keeps a man's devotion steady, is praise that is specific and authentic. At this stage in life, we're not chasing the shallow affirmations of youth. We want depth. And though men rarely admit it, they long for the same. Male psychology reminds us that a man doesn't only want to be desired, he wants to be understood. When you notice the little things, the way he steadies your hand when you walk, the patience he shows with your family, the quiet strength in his presence, and then speak them aloud in moments of closeness, you give him more than flattery. You give him recognition that reaches the core of who he is. I once knew a woman whose partner hardly reacted when she called him handsome, but one night she whispered, "I feel so safe in your arms." His reaction was different. His eyes softened, his lips trembled, and he held her tighter. That wasn't just a compliment, it was a revelation. She told him not only that he looked good, but that his very presence made her world better. That moment lived inside him for years. This is what senior romance teaches us. Not empty words, but thoughtful, heartfelt ones that affirm both body and soul. When you notice him deeply and speak it sincerely, you give him the gift of being seen. And when he feels seen, he doesn't seek validation elsewhere. He already carries it with him through you. And that brings us to the next insight, one that moves beyond words of praise and into the deeper territory of weaving the physical and the emotional together, the key to turning intimacy into a lasting bond.
Insight number 4. Connect the physical to the emotional. Passion may draw two bodies together, but it is emotion that binds two souls. In Love After 60, one of the most powerful ways to keep a man's devotion is by linking what happens physically to what it means emotionally. Without that bond, intimacy can become just a passing moment. But when his desire is tied to feelings of love, comfort, and belonging, the connection becomes unforgettable. Your words can transform closeness into something far deeper. Instead of silence or phrases that only touch the surface, you can gently weave meaning into the moment. Imagine whispering, "I've never shared this kind of closeness before." Suddenly, what happens between you is not just about pleasure, it's about the uniqueness of your bond, about the sense that what you share is one of a kind. Or consider saying softly, "Being with you feels like home." In that instant, intimacy becomes more than passion. It becomes a sanctuary of safety, warmth, and belonging. Even a phrase like, "I love how safe I feel with you," speaks volumes. For men who are often taught that strength defines them, those words validate their deeper role as protector, as anchor in your life. This is a truth long echoed by philosophers. Rumi once said, "Wherever you stand, be the soul of that place." In intimacy, that means showing up with both body and spirit. Your words become the bridge, tying his physical joy to emotional depth. Have you ever felt the difference when intimacy touched both your body and your heart? I'd love for you to share your story in the comments. Your reflection may give another woman the courage to see her connection in a new light. And now let us move to the final insight, where intimacy is not just about today, but about the future you continue to build together. Insight number 5. Anchor desire in a future together. Desire is powerful, but left on its own, it can burn bright and then fade too quickly. In Love After 60, passion lasts not because of the moment alone, but because it is tied to the days still ahead. I call this anchoring desire in a future together. It is the gentle art of taking the fire of now and connecting it to the vision of tomorrow. So he doesn't just see you as his lover, but as the companion he wants beside him for the rest of the journey. During intimacy, his heart is open, his guard lowered. What you whisper then can plant seeds in his imagination. Instead of stopping at praise for the moment, let your words stretch forward. Imagine saying, "I love knowing I'll wake up next to you tomorrow," or "Every year with you feels like a gift." Suddenly, what you share is not just about the night. It's about the life you are weaving together. At this stage of life, both of you know time feels more precious. To anchor desire in the future is to reassure him that what you have isn't fleeting. Phrases like, "Each time we're close, I see the future I dream of with you," or "You make me excited for all the days still waiting for us," give intimacy a permanence. They tell him that your love is part of a story still unfolding. Psychology shows us that when passion is linked with future-oriented thought, bonds grow stronger. For men, this speaks directly to their longing for certainty and devotion. You are not offering only a night, but a vision. And that vision, wrapped in tenderness, becomes the promise of forever. As we close this conversation, I hope you can feel that what makes love endure after 60 is more than companionship and more than passion alone. The true secret lies in the words we choose, spoken at the very moments when hearts are most open. Intimacy, at its core, is not just about bodies touching. It is the doorway to the soul. And when you know how to speak into that sacred space, you leave an impression that lasts a lifetime. We began by exploring emotional imprinting, where words spoken in closeness become permanently tied to his joy. Then we turned to the importance of speaking to his identity, not just flattering his ego, but honoring the man he truly is inside. We reflected on the strength of specific and authentic praise, the kind of recognition that makes him feel deeply seen and valued.
We looked at how to bridge the physical with the emotional, turning passion into devotion. And finally, we discovered how to anchor desire in tomorrow, tying the fire of today to the comfort of a shared future. These are not games to play, nor ways of manipulation. They are gentle truths about the nature of mature love, reminders that passion after 60 is not gone. It has simply taken a deeper form. When you use words with honesty and intention, you do more than capture his attention. You capture his trust, his loyalty, his very heart. If today's reflections touched you, I invite you to like this video and subscribe to Golden Aging Health. Here we honor the wisdom of women who know that age is not an ending, but a beginning to a richer kind of love. Until we meet again, take care of your spirit, and remember, your words are not just whispers in the night. They are seeds of devotion, desire, and love that will keep growing long after the moment has passed.